This video will demonstrate the basics of creating a quote within ActionFlow. The quickest way to create a quote is by clicking on the Quote Wizard button. You can type in the name of your customer here on this line. And then if you wanted to add their contact information, or you can also select a dealer here if you choose to do so. Once you click OK, ActionFlow will create a customer, a job, and an area, and then it's going to open up the area module which you see here. From here you can see that you can select a name for this area, or you can also type in a name here if you wanted to do so and make it what you want. So for example, we name that kitchen number 1. You can select your calc type here, which is going to be your price list. You can select your material that you want to work with as well as your color. And then you can also pick your default edge here. Those items are required for all of the quotes. Once those required items are selected, there's two different ways that you can proceed from here. One way is to expand the override section like so, and simply enter your values here. For example, if I wanted to enter in 50 square foot for the amount, and then I can click Calc and Save, I can quickly create a quote, as you can see here, for 50 square foot. The second way that you can proceed is by entering your tops onto the quote, and there's two ways that you can add a top. The first way is to go into the top list and click the green plus sign. As you can see, the cursor comes right down to the length, so if I type in 75 and hit enter, you can see that a top was created here. A second way that you can create a top is to use your draw option. So I'm going to select draw, and then I'm going to click once to start drawing the countertop. One thing to emphasize is that you should release the mouse after you initial click. This is not a dragging action, but a click and release action. That's important because if you wanted to change direction, you would click again like so. And notice that when you change your direction, you're allowed to go into snaps of 45 and 90-degree angles on your countertop. You can change directions as many times as you'd like. And then when you're done, you simply right click on the countertop to finish that top. Once the top is created, you can hover over the dimension and click that to change the dimension. So you can change that to 60. And you can also hit the tab key, and you can see that it will tab over to the other dimensions, so you can modify them that way as well. In regards to the countertop edges, if I move the mouse close to an edge, as you can see here, it turns into a hand. I don't have to be exactly over the hand, but it can just be on the inside of the countertop. There are three options that it will cycle through. The first option that you see when we came to this was the none, and this is a non-finished edge. The second click is going to give you a finished edge, and the third click, which you see in orange, is going to give you your backsplash. As I keep clicking, as you can see, it continues to cycle through those three options. So if I wanted to add a backsplash here and finished edges here, I can do so like this. I can zoom in and out with my mouse wheel, and then if we wanted to add another top onto here, we can click this add button, and we can go ahead and, let's see, we want to add a 90-inch top here. And if we'd like, if this gets off-centered or too small, we can go ahead and hit this refresh button, and as you can see, it made the countertop centered and larger again. And on this countertop, I'm just going to go ahead and let that calculate. I'm going to go ahead and make this a backsplash and some finished edges here, and then I'll click Calc and Save. A few other things to note: if I select a top and I right click it, you can see that I do have multiple options that can be added to the quote. These options are covered in more detail in the advanced drawing video. And also we do have a line item section, and that is for items that cannot go on the drawing. For example, an example would be a tear out of an existing tops. And on this line items tab, you can add additional line items to your quote, and then each line item has a class and a SKU. So for example, you would first go up and you would select in your drop down box, if you wanted to select the tear out, you could do so here. And then you can also go over here and click that you would like to do the tile tear out, which is going to give you the SKU class name. So you can see here, tile, and then tear out. And then if you click calc and save, that will now add this onto your quote. As you can see, your tile tear out is over here. Now, this calculation that you saw was doing a square footage calculation. So we had 48.93 square feet, and it's multiplying that here, and you can see that in your line items as well, that it's multiplying by your $65 a square foot, and this is going to show you all your details here. Now, you can also do a calculation by slab. To show you that, I'm going to select the granite color over here, and we're going to go ahead and change this to use the Raha pink. We have this configured to be a per slab calculation. So what you would do on that is you're going to go down and you are going to click on your slab details. If you click on the green plus sign, you can see that there are pre-entered values, but you can change them at any time also when you do your calculations here. You can also type over your revenue if you needed to do so as well. If you hit your duplicate sign, you can add a duplicate slab that way here as well. So now if I go over here and I click calc and save, we're going to see that we are now going to be charging for 2 slabs rather than charging by your square footage. So you can see your 2 slab price here. And you can also see that in your line items detail that we're charging by slab and not the square footage anymore. So those are the basics of creating a quote within ActionFlow. There are other videos that are available which go into more detail on various topics related to the quotes.